house, we have 5 kids at home, bro. You know, we have a newborn, and she's still finding the energy. And you know, like what Lee was saying earlier, sometimes they feel forgotten, and I kind of like as soon as you ever hear somebody say something, and then it's kind of like a smack in the face real quick, but you didn't get smacked. And it's because like
I feel that all the time.
you know, because like
I like that too all the time.
because like I've just been feeling like you know I've been kind of dealing with stuff you know with work and with my own stuff that I kind of forget you know like what she's doing and how hard she works you know and I feel like it's hard man to suffer from the disease that I suffer from that I have to fight every single day right that my life is on the line every single day but then she doesn't have this disease by the grace of God. But then it's hard to remember that I have to work even harder to show her that she's not forgotten, that it's not just all about this, that it is about her. But to not get off track, this turned into a wife show. We love you guys. We love you so much. But
see what you did, Charles?
but it just, and it comes from Calvin. But it just,
wow.
I needed her. Like I needed her. She didn't need me, and that was the amazing thing. That's what made me like, because the drugs and alcohol, nothing was able to get me away from that. Nothing. There wasn't an amount of money, a job, you know, being threatened to be sentenced to years in prison. Nothing would get me to stop using. But her love did. Thinking about losing her and that her not being there when I walked through the door was. It got to a point I was like, dude, that ain't the life that I want to live, you know, and that it's powerful that women that you know that not just women, I'm sure that some men have done it for women, but that somebody else can do that for us, you know, and it's so important.
So, like, for all our viewers that are out there watching currently and are struggling with their own addiction, my number is 484-772-7079, and if you want to email me, that's transformationslc14@gmail.com. You can look it up on my Facebook if you need it, or you can message me on Messenger. But for the viewers that we do have, Charles, you're from Lehigh County, and I have people that watch my podcast from all over the place. Can you provide some information on how they can get the help that they need in your county?
Well, in Lehigh County, I work for a facility in Lehigh County, and I have a lot of contacts in Lehigh County. I know there's in Allentown there's a recovery center called Change on Hamilton. Keith Smith is the director of that. And what Change on Hamilton is, it's kind of like a place where there's a lot of recovery resources there. They have CRS services there. Then they have another place in Bethlehem, PA, which is the Hope Center. That's Northampton County. And they kind of all work together. Like Lehigh and Northampton County are like, right. They all kind of work together. But the Hope Center is kind of like Change on Hamilton. They have CRSs. They also have a little bit of 12-step meetings that go in there as well. And then I know in Easton, they have the Palmer Recovery Center. So, you know, Valentine, Bethel, Easton, so you got all these recovery centers. And they all kind of link them together, but they kind of provide CRS services. I know, like, you know, 15 years ago, you didn't have that. And you start seeing a lot of CRSs in the community and these, you know, these resource centers. Like, I was talking to some people about recovery circle, and there's a recovery center where they can have the Super Bowl there. You know what I mean? For some people, that may be tough watching the Super Bowl without no alcohol. So, you know, you can go places like and watch the Super Bowl. So they have a lot of good things in the community that keep people connected. If you need treatment services, I don't have the information on me offhand, but to get assessed, they have assessment services, and they can kind of get you into treatment. I know now, since COVID and the COVID and the pandemic, things are a lot easier to get a treatment. Like funding's a lot easier. Like a lot of times, just get them in there. We'll give them the time. You know.
So does Lehigh have a warm handoff program at the hospital?
Yes.
So they can just walk into any emergency room, or is it a certain emergency room that they have to go to then be referred to the warm handoff program?
I don't know too much about the warm handoff program, but Mars is an agency, and I don't want to give any misinformation, but Mars There's a lot of assessments in the hospital. They have CRSs in the hospital where they're hand them off and try to get them to the treatment.
And with the biggest thing is what Lee's getting to is if you are still sick and suffering and you are trying to get help now, regardless on where you are, starting at your local emergency room would be a really good place to start. Usually the warm handoff program will, like some sort of program, if it's not necessarily called that, your emergency room will have some sort of program like that, that if it's an dire emergency to where you don't have time to call somebody to get assessed, go to the emergency room and, guarantee that we'll be able to get you some sort of help right there. Then we'll start the process of everything.
So for our local viewers here in Reading, Pennsylvania, we're shooting here at the Berks Rise Center, and this is our community-based hub where you can come for all the information you may need to get you started on your journey to recovery. If you really are trying to get sober today, all you got to do is walk into Reading Hospital, Reading Hospital, and ask for the warm handoff program, and they will get you a bed, send you to treatment as soon as they can. Or you can just walk down here Mondays. I don't know the schedule.
It's Monday through Friday. I believe it's 10 to 6.
10 to 6. And then you can just come down here, ask for Yvonne Stroman, or whoever is on staff, and just ask them for the information that you may need so it can help guide you to your journey to recovery.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is that you just make that decision and start getting sober. And that's our hope with our podcast, is to help encourage you, whoever is struggling or your loved one, just reach out for help. And we know, and we always talk about having that heavy arm that will not pick up the phone to call somebody. That's the biggest struggle that everybody has in early recovery, is picking up the phone just to talk to somebody and tell them, hey, I got a problem, I need your help. Like I say, you could always reach out to me on Messenger, or just text me, 484-772-7079. You can contact Joshua Camacho.
My phone number is 484-926-8358. Macho Camacho on Facebook, and if you're into the email thing, it's transformationsjosh.23@gmail.com. We have had a lot of success with this. It doesn't have to necessarily be as soon as we get off of the podcast, because next week is kind of big for us as well. I wanted to touch on it quick. Next week is already episode 10 that we've been doing this, so we've seen the success, and the just giving out the phone number. It doesn't necessarily happen as soon as we end the podcast, but then I've received calls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you need us, just make sure you reach out.
Yeah, and so another thing I want to touch on is the events that we have going on this week. This Wednesday, we have a speaker series here at the Berks Rise Center from 5:30 to 7:30. And the speaker will be Caesar. He used to work at the Reading Detox Center in Reading. So for all of you guys that have been in the Detox Center, me one of them, Caesar has a great story. He will be sharing his strength, hope, and encouragement to help you guys who are still sick and suffering, or to help encourage the ones that are working a program of recovery. Thursday, I have a Spanish version speaker series at PA Counseling from 5:30 to 7:30. Both events have refreshments, food, come on by, we have raffles, and it's a good time, you get a good message. Then Sunday, 3 to 7, we have the NFC East Championship game, which will be NFC Championship game, which will be
and the 49ers.
It's going to be one of these teams up against 49ers, right?
Yeah.
I thought I'd catch Charles out really quick. But so that ought to be a good time. And that's from 3 to 7. Lots of food. I'm sure you guys have seen pictures on Facebook of the last few events that we have had. We've had great raffles, great food, great times with people in recovery. And it's just to teach everybody that's in their early recovery that it sure is possible to have a great time sober without a mind-altered substance. And you can have a good time with good people. So just come on by, check us out. And continue, I'm gonna piggyback off of what Josh said. I wanna thank everybody that's been supporting our podcast. People keep asking, when are you gonna do a podcast? When are you gonna do a podcast? It's every Sunday. We're thinking about starting to do one on Saturday evening. I just don't know when yet. We want to get better without technology. We're not using it to its capacity because we're not that great at it, but we will get great at it and continue to provide these services to you guys. But the most important thing is that if you need help, just reach out to one of us. Come on down to the Berks Rise Center. If you live in Lehigh County, try and get in contact with some of the information that Charles did give out. And if you don't remember what he said, replay the video and you'll get that information.
Or just reach out to us, and then if you are in the Lehigh area, and we can try to direct you to Charles and to the services that they provide in that area.
And again, Charles, thank you for coming all the way up from Lehigh County. I really appreciate it. And thank you for your service that you did provide for the United States. You didn't say what branch that was.
I was in the Navy.
In the Navy. Nice. Well, thank you again. And again, all you guys, thank you for your support. See you next week. Peace.
God bless.
Go Cowboys.
Go Birds.
Now I can take this jersey off. I'm sitting here watching this the whole time, and I'm like, man, I forgot to turn that light on. That big rig, I never turned it on. You did a great job, brother. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. How do you do? Now you can be
Yeah,
critic.
you did great.
All right.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
That was nice.
All right, nice.
But like you should. I wanted to be careful how I share stuff.